Possiamo dare l'audio in Italia un attimo per fare una prova? Ma adesso glielo diciamo. Se potete accendere il microfono e fare una prova dall'Italia.
Pronto, pronto?
Benissimo,
Buongiorno.
direi che si sente perfettamente. So I think let's start. So good morning and good afternoon to everybody. We say good morning and good afternoon because actually here is already afternoon, while in Italy is early morning, 8 o'clock. So thanks a lot to be with us actually. First, let me express a warm welcome to all the participants here at the Italian pavilion of Expo. We are in the auditorium, and with us there are two classes of the Assumption School of Osaka, while in Italy there are students from two schools that are Istituto Belluzzi, Fioravanti, and Istituto Ettore Majorana. So thanks a lot to be with us, and we call this event Debate because we tried to develop a discussion on two issues that are very sensitive for young generation between classes of Japanese high school and Italian high schools. The two topics are sustainable mobility, that of course is sensitive for students that move to school every day, come back home and have to deal with transportations. And also food sustainability, again, very sensitive for schools because students are used to eat in canteen or maybe to bring food from home, so which is the best solution. That's what we are going to discuss together. We would like to compare habits here in Japan with habits in Italy. And it was possible thanks to the contribution of two research groups of University of Bologna that have been involved and support the classes both in Japan and in Italy. And with our research groups, classes conduct two surveys in order to tackle with their hand the possibility to find new solutions to sustainable mobility and food sustainability. So actually this is an attempt that we are used to develop in Italy with classes in presence. Now we are online. But I think it's a great opportunity to share at the international level and to put together students at the international level. So before starting the debate, just conceptualize a little bit where we are, especially for students from Bologna. We are at Expo, Osaka. So I give the floor to Professor Simona Tondelli, that is the Deputy Rector of University of Bologna, to introduce briefly what is Expo and why it is important to discuss those topics at Expo. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you, and welcome to everyone. It's a real pleasure for me to be here and to start with you this important event this afternoon or morning. Un saluto speciale agli studenti collegati da Bologna. So we are here hosted at the Italian pavilion of the Expo 2025 Osaka. This is the week dedicated to the Emilia-Romagna region, and we are really proud to be here with our young researchers from Bologna and with the students from Japan and from Bologna. You may already know what is an expo. The first expo was held in London in 1851, so a long time ago, but probably all of you know about the expo in Paris in 1889 when the Tour Eiffel was built. At that moment, the Tour Eiffel was seen as something really strange. People were not so happy of this new thing that appeared in their landscape. But it lasted, and it is nowadays one of the most famous iconic symbols in the whole world. So this means that the Expo is a place where we showcase innovation, technology, and our idea of the future. So many countries of the world, there are 160 countries present in Osaka Expo, are here to present and to showcase their vision of the future, innovation, technology, and how to work together towards the challenges that we have to face now. The University of Bologna has been here from last Sunday, participating in a lot of events. We have signed agreements with universities from Japan, with businesses, enterprises, and we are proud to be here with a group of 13 young researchers that are presenting their research, but are also working to make this event with the school students possible. I would like to express my gratitude to the Emilia-Romagna region who allowed us to be here with our delegation, to Professor Guerra and Professor Bergamini and all the Bologna staff who worked together with the professors of the high school, both in Japan and in Bologna, to make this event today possible. Looking ahead, the next expo will be in 5 years. It will be in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and perhaps some of you will be there as a young researcher presenting their groundbreaking research. So, a special thank to all of you, to all the students from Japan and from Bologna who are here today, who are enthusiastically participating to this debate. And really, I hope you will enjoy this opportunity. Thank you.
Thanks a lot to Professor Simona Tondelli, to introduce Expo. And now let's introduce PENTRER, that is the framework project under which this debate has been organized, and is a project that involves different universities in Emilia-Romagna region. And okay, and I give the floor to Paola Spinozzi, Vice Rector for the Internationalization of Teaching and Research, University of Ferrara, and coordinator of PENTRER project.
Thank you so much. I prefer to stand a little bit because I've been sitting for quite a number of hours. So what is PENTRER? Well, I have to say that I already talked about PENTRER this morning. I already introduced PENTRER this morning. And now I have to introduce it again to different people. So it's the same topic, but of course it has to be conveyed to different people. And this is one of the topics of the project itself, public engagement. What does this mean? It means that whatever we do, whatever we study, whatever we read, whatever we make, doesn't just concern us, right? It doesn't only have to do with us, but always has to do with others. So the problem, or rather the challenge, and also the joy of the whole thing is that we have to try and involve others, right? This is what we do every day. If you come and think of it, public engagement is what we do every day as individuals, because we have our network of friends, our family, relatives, people that are close to us, our inner circles, or people who live far away, and we want to have in our life. And this, in a sense, is a public engagement. We want to engage as many people as possible. We want to involve as many people as possible. And this on the individual level. When it comes to an institution like the university or a number of universities, it involves many more people, right? It involves a much higher number of people. And of course, it's also more challenging. So what do we want to involve people about, right? This is the question. Why do we want to involve many people? Why do we want to publicly engage many people? We want to do so because we want to share and we want to convey what we do in Emilia-Romagna with the universities in Emilia-Romagna. And this brings me back to Italy. This morning I started talking about Italy. Well, what I'm going to say doesn't only apply to Italy as a country, but for sure it does apply to Italy more than to other countries. Italy is a country made of regions. So the regional dimension, what regions are within the country, what regions do for the country, all these things are very, very important. And that is also due to the fact that Italy was unified only in 1861. So before that date, it's very recent, right? Just come and think of it, 1861. It's very, very, very recent. It's a little more than 150 years. So before that, the country wasn't unified. It was all fragmented. So this means that even though it's a country, the regions are very important. What a region means is very important. So now, to come closer to the subject, we are in Emilia-Romagna. This week, Expo, the whole of the Italian pavilion at Expo talks about Emilia-Romagna, our region. And there are many videos that show what Emilia-Romagna is geographically, how it is organized geographically. And I can tell you very, very quickly that Emilia-Romagna is both a region that involves hills and mountains, quite significant hills and mountains, and also the sea. So it's a region that goes from the mountains in the interior of the region to the sea, to the Adriatic coast. And you can imagine how different those places are. And also the universities are in different places. So they are in the same region, they are in Emilia-Romagna, but they are in different places. So PENTRER is born as a project that wants to show how universities they create a system, they are together as a whole, but they also have distinct and specific identities and distinct and specific histories. So they are individual universities, they are different from each other, but together they form a system. So it is important to keep in mind that they are both, as I said, individual, singular, but they are also connected to each other. And where the connection becomes really, really important is in the fields of innovation, clearly. And innovation is into and for all those areas of research that are of importance today. We talk about the global challenges, right? And sometimes we talk about global challenges as a sort of motto, a sort of sentence that we keep repeating, the global challenges. What are the global challenges? Well, global challenges are challenges that, again, concern us in our lives. How to eat better, how to live better and longer, how to be healthier, how to be able to move around, to move from A to B in a better way, in a more sustainable way, how to be able to sustain us as humans on this planet. So this is what each university does all over the world, and each school does all over the world. It's not just unique to Emilia-Romagna, it's not just unique to Italy or to Japan, right? It involves all institutions at all levels. But what I think is important for you, and above all today, through this debate between schools in Japan and schools in Italy, what is important is to try and see how we do these things, right? How we challenge these global challenges, how we challenge these topics, the topic of sustainability and the topic of innovation. And to conclude, I want to remember that the idea for PENTRER came from an ancient Roman road, which is called Via Emilia. I'm sure you, the students that are here today must have heard about Via Emilia, this ancient Roman road that was built thousands of years ago. And it's a road that, in fact, cuts the whole region from northwest to southeast. So this long road, which is also a route, and it was originally a military road, a road for the soldiers of the empire, of the Roman Empire, to move through the region. But then, of course, throughout history, it has changed, right? It has become a I would say, a sort of material and immaterial place for tangible and intangible connections and interactions. And along the Via Emilia, at some point at the end of the Via Emilia, there is another important axis, that is the axis that goes from Venice to Rome. I'm sure you've heard of Venice, and I'm sure you've heard of Rome, and Ferrara is along this axis. So you have to think about this project in geographical terms, in historical terms, and also in cultural terms. So thank you very much and enjoy the debate. Thank you.
Thanks a lot to Professor Spinozzi. And now we move to Bologna, actually, because this initiative, this debate, is part of an overall initiative we started to develop in Bologna in the last 2 years called Labo 2030. There is again a debate among Bologna High School. And let me introduce Giacomo Bergamini, Delegate for Sustainability of the University of Bologna, and Maria Letizia Guerra, Delegate for Public Engagement, again, of University of Bologna. They will give us a little bit an overview of what is Labo 2030 and why it's important also to translate Labo at international level as we are trying to do today. Thanks, Giacomo. The floor is yours.
So thank you, and good morning, everyone, and good afternoon in Japan. It's a pleasure to welcome you to this meeting between Italian and Japanese students. I would like to introduce briefly Labo 2030, which is the original project started a few years ago here in Bologna, that connects research and with high school students like you here and there in Japan. The idea is simple, but is powerful. They bring young people closer to the world of research through direct collaboration. Each class works with a researcher from our university on a project related to sustainability and to the goals of the 2030 agenda. The aim is to make students active participants, asking questions, sharing ideas, and seeing how research can have a real impact on our communities. So today we are here to listen your pitches and to debate that will follow from your pitches. So the project is about collaboration between school and university, teachers and researcher, and most importantly, between you, young people who are building a sustainable future. So this is not only important for students, I'm sure that for researchers too, because it's a stimulating opportunity to improve both their communication skill and their research itself. So thank you again to be here and there, and I wish you a fruitful exchange today and in the pursuit of the works. So thank you. I will give the stage to Professor Maria Letizia Guerra, that is connected from Rimini.
Thank you so much, Giacomo. I'm so excited and happy about this appointment we have connecting students from Osaka and Bologna. And really, it's a way to show which are the main activities of public engagement at the University of Bologna. We try to engage young generation in order to spread values and principles that are the basic in order to have a future of peace and prosperity. So thank you so much also to Paola Scrolavezza and Professor Giulio Bertelli that were able to give us all the possible instructions and relationship in order to organize this project. And thank you to all the people that are in Bologna and that are in Osaka from University of Bologna, because we can do that just because of a beautiful alliance and collaboration. Thank you, all of you. Bye-bye. And have a nice debate, obviously. Bye.
Thanks, Maria Letizia and Giacomo. So I think we can quickly move now to the debate. So thanks, Professoressa Spinozzi and Professoressa Tondelli. And now the floor is moved to the students. And how does it work, the debate? We first start with sustainable mobility. And we have a researcher here from University of Bologna. There is Margherita Pazzini from the Department of Civil, Chemical, Environmental and Material Engineering. Margherita worked with both groups in Bologna and in Osaka, of course in Bologna in presence, with Osaka in online, but she had the opportunity to visit the school yesterday, actually. She's going to introduce briefly the topic, why it is important to talk about sustainable mobility, and after that she's going to moderate the debate. First, the Bologna or the Japan class? The Japan class. First, Bologna will present the result of their survey, then the Japanese class, then there will be also a possibility to make questions among classes, and then finally the audience could intervene and make comments or raise questions. Thanks, Margherita. The floor is yours, and afterward I will say the class here in Japan to be ready for their presentation.
Sorry, I have a presentation. Can I? Okay. So thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Margherita Pazzini from the University of Bologna. I'm honored to be here today. Now I'm going to show you all the goals and challenges of the Labo 2030 project for the Sustainable Mobility Groups. Just to introduce myself, I'm an assistant professor at the University of Bologna at the Civil Engineering Department with my research group composing by 3 professors and 1 research fellow, Dr. Leonardo Cameli, who worked with me in this project. We try to find possible solutions to improve sustainable mobility inside urban context. In fact, our research topic focused on urban regeneration, so we try to requalify cities through sustainable transport. We also study green roads, so we try to find innovative, sustainable solution for road pavement. And we also study safety mobility to improve the transport safety. So we try to reduce road accident, and also study driver perspection. So in this way, the challenge of sustainable mobility is highly complex. So our final goal is to reduce environmental impact, improve the safety of pedestrians and cyclists, and also encourage the efficiency and accessibility to public transport in cities. Of course, we try also to support urban planning for the future of citizens, but as with any urban planning that truly works, it is important to know the citizen perception. So we try to take into account also their need as they use transport services every day. So in this context, we try to develop the first project of Labo 2030 with the high school Belluzzi Fioravanti in the city of Bologna. So inside this project, we try to analyze and understand the student perspective on public transport, active mobility, and cycle infrastructure. So we realized a project in the area of Dumbo inside the city of Bologna. This area had been requalified recently, so we tried to find new solution to connect the cities, so the area of Dumbo with the city center of Bologna in a sustainable way. From Bologna, our journey took us to Japan, so in the city of Osaka. This incredible experience With this incredible experience, we were able to analyze and to compare the voices of 2 different students from Bologna and Osaka. And we tried to analyze the different cultural, infrastructural, and behavioral aspects to support education and transport policy. 2 different schools took part in this project, so the Belluzzi Fioravanti High School from Bologna and the Assumption Kokusai Senior High School in Osaka. So to build the project together, we started by asking students what sustainable mobility means for them, what is mean move in a sustainable way inside a city center, and also which difficulties they face in their home to school travel. So in this figure, you can see their one-word answers. It is interesting to see that many of these responses are quite similar. So this means that the problem linked to the sustainability are quite the same, and all of us want to improve sustainable mobility inside cities. So at the end, each class developed its own questionnaire with the aim of investigating the daily travel habits of high school students, assessing awarenesses of sustainable mobility, and analyzing cultural, infrastructural, and behavioral differences, and then providing insight for education and policies promoting sustainable transport. So I don't want to take any more time to the presentation. I just want to say thank you to all the students, both from Bologna and Osaka. It's a very good opportunity for us to do this project together. I also want to say thank you to the teachers that help us to realize this class and to all the organization. So now I will hand over the floor to the students, before the students from Bologna, and then to the student here from the School of Kokusai Assumption. Thank you so much for your attention.
Hello to everyone. Thank you, Margherita, for in the presentation and for introducing me as well. And I underline that it was an honor to work with these guys for most of the time. And no, I'm joking. And today I'm glad to introduce you the students from Istituto Belluzzi Fioravanti. Please, Anna, Alessandro, and Martin come with me to the floor for the first speech on sustainable mobility. And let's give them a warm welcome, please.
Can you see the presentation in Osaka?
Yes, Carlotta.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to reshare.
Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anna, and they are Alessandro and Tanachai, and we will talk about the project of our class titled Bologna on the Move, Assessing Our Sustainable Mobility. Bologna is situated in the northern Italy and is the capital city of Emilia-Romagna region. And it is well known for its history, its food, and its medieval towers. Regarding the history of Bologna, we can say that the city was founded by the Roman Empire in 753 before Christ, and it was originally built as a military camp. Historically, Bologna had about 100 towers, but today only 20 are still standing. And the two most important towers are the Asinelli and the Garisenda, situated on the city center, in the city center. It's all famous for its arcades, which in total stretch 62 kilometers. Our school is called Belluzzi Fioravanti and is an industrial technical institute with 5 specializations: logistics, chemistry, computer science, electronics, and mechanics. And we have chosen the specialization in transport and logistics, and this has equipped us with expertise in organizing transport, managing logistics, and identifying the most efficient routes for travel. Our school is located about 20 minutes by car from the city center, 35 minutes by bus, and 22 minutes by bike. As for the mobility in our city, Bologna is making significant progress towards sustainability, seeking to balance urban life with nature and its environmental impact. The city has an efficient and sustainable public transport network with hybrid and electric buses, and the tram will soon be introduced, which will further improve mobility. Bologna pays much attention to the creation and maintenance of parks, including Parco della Montagnola, Parco Talon, Parco di Villangeletti, and Parco dei Gessi Bolognesi, which improve the quality of urban life and contribute to sustainability. The main goals of our study were analyze the travel before behaviors of students, evaluate participation of sustainable mobility, identify key strengths and weaknesses in current mobility systems, and provide ideas to support future improvements. For our project, we realized a survey to share with our schoolmates, teachers, and people who work in the school. This questionnaire is composed by questions in 3 different sections. Section A includes general information, Section B includes daily mobility scenario, and Section C, opinions and preference. Section A include dates such as age, gender, country, and city, study or work status, and distance from school or workplace. Section B includes the frequency of commuting, travel time and modes used, and cost, comfort, safety, infrastructure, and weather impact on mobility. And Section C includes public transport perception, preferred modes for daily activities, and transport subscription, and priorities for improvement.
The first thing we had to do was sharing the questionnaire. We created a poster that was then shared with students and profs with the question, how do you assess your daily travel habit? Now let's see the results of this questionnaire. We had 130 people responding. The age was mostly 14 to 18 years old, and the gender was mostly male. But we also had responses from females and adults. The first thing we asked was how far away they live from school and how much time they need to come. So we saw that the majority of students lives at around 10 kilometers from school and needs 5 to 30 minutes to come. But we also have many students that live further away and take more than 1 hour to come to school. Those that live closer prefer to come to school with a bicycle or by foot. Those that live farther away prefer to come to school with bus or private transportation. After that, we wanted to understand what types of transportation they use. We saw that the majority of students uses the bus or prefer to come to school by foot. But there are also the ones that use a car or their own motorcycle. And the 81% of students uses 2 types of transportations. After that, we asked them how satisfied they were. We saw that the majority of students are satisfied with the cost of the tickets, with the safety and the accessibility to the transport. But there are many concerns about the safety no, sorry. There are many concerns about the speed, the comfort, and the travel time. Then we asked them the priorities of improvement. Many students responded that they want more investments in sustainable mobility. They want more bicycle lanes, more bicycle parking, more car parking, and a lower ticket costs. In conclusion, students rely heavily on public transportation, but ask for faster and more comfortable services. Sustainable mobility infrastructures, bike lanes, bicycle parking are still inadequate, and the tickets cost are perceived as high compared to the quality of the service. Young people have concrete proposals, such as more secure bicycle parking near schools and incentives of multimodality, which should be considered by local authorities. Thank you. This was our presentation, and I hope you enjoy it.
Okay. Thank you guys for the presentation. Very nice work. It was very interesting. And now I give back the floor to Margherita for the question.
Yes, thank you, Leonardo, and thank you to the student for your presentation. Now we have time for question. So I invite the group of Sustainable Mobility of Konkusai High School for the question time. So guys. Okay. Thank you for the question. You can stay here. Okay. The first question.
Hello. So today I'm going to state you some questions. And first, Bologna emphasizes sustainability, but do you think the results are already visible or more in progress?
Bologna has made Bologna has made important efforts to promote the sustainability, seeking to balance urban life with nature and its environmental impact. The results are already visible. For example, the number of people using bikes or buses is increasing, and more areas of the city are less polluted than before. However, we believe that is a work in progress. There's definitely room for improvement, especially reducing traffic and encouraging more people using bikes or sustainable transport.
Thank you. So second question. In Bologna, most students commute less than an hour, while in Osaka, many spend 1 to 2 hours. Do you think shorter travel times automatically mean a better quality of life?
Thank you for the question. So, when you don't spend 3 to 4 hours a day on transport, you have automatically more time for yourself to study, to organizing better your time. So we think that spending around 30 minutes to come to school a day will automatically mean a better quality of life, because you will have more time for yourself and for organizing.
Thank you.
Third question. Do you think free public transport would actually reduce car use, or would people still choose to drive for convenience?
Well, this is actually an interesting question. So, a free public transportation will decrease the cars. Yes, because many people will see that as a way to save the money they spend on fuel car maintenance or parking. So it will significantly decrease the amounts of cars, especially in the city center.
Thank you. Next, people in Bologna are trying to increase the number of parking spaces, but wouldn't that actually encourage more people to use cars?
Thanks for question. The plan is not to make more parking space, but they improve to make parking place outside the city center, so the people can leave their cars and use sustainable transport like bus or train. However, to reach the city center is really difficult with the private car. Thank you.
Thank you.
The last question asks a suggestion for improvement. What kind of related services are you want to improve?
I think bikes are really important for Bologna, but there are several problems. Bikers aren't really safety in Bologna, and they are poorly maintained, and we are needed in that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for this time. So, thank you. I hope you enjoy our projects. So students work a lot. So I think that the results are very good. So now I leave the floor to the next group. So thank you so much for your attention today. Please, so come here. 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 Okay. So we have just to show the presentation. Okay, thank you.
Hello everyone, we're from Assumption Kokusai High School. My name is Natsuki,
Kensuke,
Chihana, Mihiro, Hanano, and Azuki.
First, we will introduce where we live and study, and then share research about the sustainability of transportation based on a survey conducted in our school. To begin with, we would love to show you our city, Osaka. It is known as the second largest city in Japan after Tokyo. As you may know, Osaka Expo 2035 has been held, which has a major influence on our society today. Since the Edo period, about 400 years ago, Osaka has played an important role in politics and economy.
Here are some famous Japanese foods from Osaka. If you come to Osaka, you must try okonomiyaki, takoyaki, and kushikatsu. You can even try them inside this expo. Besides food, there are also must-visit places. I highly recommend that Osaka Castle, where major historical events in Japan took place. The castle also houses a history museum, so if you are interested in the samurai era, for example, katana or kabuto, you should definitely visit.
Next, let me tell you about our school, Assumption Kokusai. It is located in Mino City in the northern part of Osaka, surrounded by beautiful nature, especially the red autumn leaves. A local specialty called momijin tempura, fried maple leaves coated with sugar, is popular among tourists. It tastes sweet and delicious. Now let's look at Assumption Kokusai's unique course of study. There are 4: academic, English, science, and superior course. We conduct interviews with students from each course. The first one is academic course. In this course, students learn all subjects evenly. Some subjects address social issues, giving students a broader global perspective on today's society. Here's the student voice. She said she was able to improve her English skill even though it was not her strength. She also enjoyed good relationship with friends and teachers, which makes her feel comfortable.
English course. All of us are in this course. Students study subjects in English and also learn French as a second language. This course focuses on foreign languages. This is our classmate Haruna. She said this course not only improves communication skills in language, but also builds stronger class bonds, since classmates stay together for 3 years. Science course. This course focuses only on scientific subjects such as math and chemistry, making it the most challenging. However, students have a higher chance of receiving university recommendation.
And the last one is a superior course. Students here study very hard with the aim of entering top university. Because everyone is highly motivated, the learning atmosphere is very focused and competitive.
Then I will explain the main form of transportation is Osaka. Osaka's public transportation consists of the subway, city bus, and train. The subway has 8 lines, and many people use the Chuo line to come here to Umeshima. The number of subway users is about 2.15 million people city. In Delhi, in addition, the new tram, called the Osaka Metro Nanko Port Town Line, is connected to the subway system. The new tram uses automated guideway transit. It is often called AGT. The most interesting feature is that it is driverless. Next, the number of city bus users is about 162,000 people each day. According to research by Osaka City, the share of train use increased from 1919 to 2021, while car use declined. In 2021, the share of public transportation, such as train and buses, was about 24% in Kansai region, but about 40% in Osaka City. This shows that people in Osaka City use public transportation more than those in the region overall.
Now, let's move on to the purpose of our presentation. We surveyed people to find out how they travel and what they think about public transportation to improve sustainability. We also used QR codes to collect responses from people at school. This graph shows the ratio of genders. It's almost the same, so that the survey will be equal. Most participants were our classmates, but some teachers and parents joined as well. Some students live in Mino City, while others commute from Osaka, central Osaka, such as Meadow. Our school is not near to each station. There are graphs that show how many minutes will take to go to from school each station.
Most students commute by combining train and walking. Our school is about 15 minutes on foot from the Mino station, so many students walk after taking the train.
These are the levels of satisfaction with transportation. Many students rated the system as sufficient, but satisfaction was lower for aspects such as the cost. This just shows which modes of transportation people use for different purposes. We can see that Japan offers a wide variety of options compared to developing countries.
According to this survey, many people think that the lack of bus service is a major problem in our town. I also believe this is the biggest issue for us, especially for students. For example, one of my friends lives far from the station. Because of this, whenever she wants to study at school or somewhere else, she always has to worry about what time she can get back home. This is very stressful for her. This government can and should address this problem, but at the moment, they don't seem to understand the situation. That's why we think this survey should be given to more people and across a wider age.
In Japan, the government encourages people to use bicycles, but at the moment, cycling can sometimes be dangerous because some roads don't have designated bicycle lanes, which increases the risk of accident with cars. As a result, the survey shows that many people are dissatisfied with the maintenance and storage services for bicycles.
In conclusion, the satisfaction with transportation is still high, showing the needs for improvements to raise customer satisfaction. Complaints also vary depending on which type of transportation people use. One key finding is that people want innovation in transportation that supports sustainable coexistence between society and the environment. We also realize that survey should be conducted on a broader scale to better reflect people's needs. However, improving the system will be costly, and inflation makes this an even bigger challenge. We hope that society can create sustainable transportation systems and better solutions in this era of rapid globalization. So, thank you for listening.
Thank you for students for your presentation. Now it's time to the question from Bologna. So please, I ask to the other students of Sustainable Mobility Group to come here. Okay, so Leonardo, we are ready. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Margherita. Here we are, Martin, for the question, please.
Hello. Okay. I prepared some question for you in Japan. In Bologna, we often talk about whether public transport feels safe for young people. How is it in Osaka? Do you feel comfortable using it?
Thank you. I think it's safe and comfortable enough for young people to use public transportation because Japan has a low rate of serious violent crimes. In addition, the attendants and the passengers are very kind to everyone, so they will help us in times of trouble. Therefore, I feel very comfortable and relieved when using public transportation in Osaka, and I never felt scared or afraid of it. Thank you.
Thank you. The second one is, in Italy, delays on buses and trains can sometimes be a problem. Do you experience frequent delays in Osaka?
So I sometimes face delays, especially with buses in the morning. When I was in junior high school, I commuted by bus and I was always annoyed. However, when the buses and trains are delayed, we can get a delay certificate and submit it to the school for their consideration. I suppose that since many people use cars, traffic jams occur and the roads become congested. I think this may be a problem for several perspectives, such as CO2 emissions and the relationship due to tardiness. Thank you.
Thank you. The third one is, when maintenance works are carried out on the roads or railway lines in Bologna, traffic can get worse. Does it happen in your city too?
In Japan, maintenance is conducted in the night time when there is almost no traffic.
Thank you. The first one is, in Bologna, we have different kinds of tickets, but sometimes it's not so easy to use just one for every means of transport. In Osaka, can you use single ticket or cards for trains, buses, and trams? Are there any discount for students?
Every transport does have an individual ticket system. However, some companies work together to create an almighty ticket system, where for a set time or amount of times you can use their transport as many times as you want.
Thank you. The last one is, recently, Bologna has been investing more in sustainable mobility. In Osaka, also promoting projects or investment in public transport and green mobility.
Yes, it is. The bus that connects between Umeda and Expo is using synthetic fuel. Synthetic fuel is made by CO2 and hydrogen. It can reduce CO2 emissions throughout their entire life cycle, from raw materials production to utilization. Thank you.
Thank you, all of you. It's a really pleasure to talk, and arigatou gozaimasu.
Okay, thank you to all the students from Bologna and to Osaka. So I think that you realized very good project. I hope you enjoyed the time together, also online. And so I hope the best for your future as a student. So now I think that the part of sustainability is finished. I leave the floor to the next group, so about the food. Thank you so much, everyone, to listen to our presentation and our project. Have a nice day.
Okay, thanks again for both groups, and thanks to Margherita. They really took care of both. And of course, it was not easy to work either in Bologna or in Osaka, but she managed perfectly. And let's introduce the second group. The second group, we have two colleagues of University of Bologna that are Valeria Musso and Giulia Scaramuzzino. They are PhD candidates. And they come from the Department of Agriculture and Food Sciences. And of course, they work in the same way with two different classes, one in Osaka and one in Bologna, but dealing with food sustainability. These are key issues in the organization of school and in our daily life. So I will give the floor to my colleagues, and the scheme will be quite similar to the one with sustainable mobility.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Filippo. So now we will introduce the second topic of the project Labo 2030, which is, as Filippo was saying, food, resources, and waste. And first, I will present me and my colleague and our research group. Can you hear me? Well, okay. And then our research topic, very briefly. And then my colleague will go through describing some of the activities we did with these two classes in Bologna and in Osaka. And after that, she will leave the word to the students that made a very good job. So you will hear about their project. So we are Giulia Scaramuzzo and Valeria Musso, okay. And we are two young researchers from the Department of Agricultural and Food Science in Bologna. But we are a part of a bigger group coordinated by our professor, Matteo Vittuari. What do we do? As a research group, we actually... Pensavo facessi tu. Okay, sorry. So this is the Department of Agricultural and Food Science, just to let you know. So we investigate, design, and test solution to support the transformation toward a sustainable food system. We try to do it in line with the no, sorry, not the United States, the United Nations, sorry, I'm a bit excited, the Sustainable Development Goals, especially the number 2, 3, and 12. So the number 2 is zero hunger, the number 3 is good health and well-being, while the 12 is responsible consumption and production. So our activities try to be in line with the SDGs of the United Nations. How do we do it? Well, as a research group, we use different methodologies altogether, since we think that this is very important in order to address the complexity of the food system. In particular, first of all, we do investigate food-related behaviors to try to encourage the shift toward a more sustainable and healthy diet. So what do? We study eating habits of people and their choices, and we try to understand if there is a way to encourage sustainable and healthy diet. Secondly, we do work on the sustainability assessment of food system, but also of food supply chain, from a sustainable, social, but also from an environmental point of view. And we try to understand if there are areas on which we can work on. Very important, last but not least, we think that the participatory approach is very important to work with these complex systems. And we try to engage the whole system of stakeholders every time we deal with food systems. So to final part, our results are actually used to inform evidence-based solution, actually agricultural and food policies, and we also use it to make decision making at different level. Actually, we work at international, national, local levels and regional. In fact, we do collaborate with the Regione Emilia-Romagna on many projects. The most important is l'ARISO, Laboratorio di Ristorazione Sostenibile. Okay, now I will leave the floor to Valeria, that will, yes, you go.
Yeah, thank you also from my side. So let's start with Labo 2030, the project we, of course, work on with the students. So basically, as Margherita also introduced before, we started to work with the Italian school in November 2024. We went to their school, we had some lectures with them about sustainable food systems and how to improve them, and we introduced the topic. Then we supported them in a phase of project development, and then they win, basically, second place for within the local challenge at the Bologna school level. And this is why they are here today, also collaborating with the Japanese students. After that, almost like 4 months ago, we started to collaborate with the Japanese students from Assumption Kokusai School in Osaka. And actually, as you can see also from the picture at the beginning, it was a bit challenging because we actually worked online with them. It was very, very interesting to engage with them. And of course, it was a very nice opportunity to exchange between researchers and students. And I think that in the end, this was more useful than us, than probably for the students. And so here we are today at our final session in Osaka, and for that I would like to thank you, of course, the students and the teachers for the great collaboration. And so basically I will briefly introduce what is the topic of this challenge and how we dealt with it in our research, but also with the students that were involved in the project. So basically, we work to find solutions on how to transform towards sustainable food systems from production to consumption. As you can see here, like food supply chain is one of the most complex, and actually we talk about food systems instead of supply chain, since all the actors involved, all the stakeholders, all the stages, they are very complex and many and several. Therefore, there are so many factors involved, economical, cultural, social, environmental, since we deal with the land, with water, with the people, and also one of the most important phases, of course, also consumption and waste management and disposal at the end of the chain. So basically, how we work with food system is looking at it with an integrated approach. So looking at how food system can be positive for the environment, but also how can they support the communities and the actors involved, how they can produce economic growth, and in the end also guarantee access to affordable, healthy, sustainable diets to all the people on the world, actually. And so this is what we talk about during our lessons, actually. And in the end, we decided and we proposed to students to work on a specific food environment of the food systems, which is food canteens. So we believe this is very interesting and a very nice opportunity from our research perspective to deepen the research on this. Because actually food canteens are in itself a small food system. Therefore, we are able to affect public food procurement. So how the food is chosen, so raw materials, and also how to actually respect food safety standards, as well as how to design less impactful menus, and how to make the meals accessible to people, as we were saying before. On the other side, we also have an opportunity to actually influence consumption patterns. For example, trying to improve diets and, of course, making more nutritious and various. But also something we care a lot is in school canteens especially, and the guys will actually talk about it, is food waste, which is a very huge problem in schools, at least in Italy. And we try to find solutions on how to reduce food waste, working on children habits. As well as, in the end, of course, this is very much related with how to improve food education in school as well. So, as I said, this is a good opportunity, to work on this, to transform food system towards more sustainable models. And I think I am done. Just one more minute to take the opportunity to thank also my colleagues that work at this project. They are in Bologna now. Actually, we only have one of them, Arianna Dell'Olio, which actually we introduced the Italian class in a few minutes, and you will meet her very soon. But also, I would like to mention Yu Chia Chen, Giulia Stanzani, and of course, our full professor, Matteo Vittuari. So, of course, from the department, our department. We now will leave the floor to the first Japanese school, right? So they will start first at this time. So the school actually worked on, they also made a survey. They will tell about you in a few minutes. This is actually the way the students work on this topic is very interesting, and they will talk about how is their food, school food canteens at their school, in their city, both from Italy and from Osaka. But also they would like to present some solutions, some strategies on how to improve them. And in particular, the Italian class will talk mainly about the food canteen that they would like to have, that they desire to have. So the sustainable food canteens of their lives, let's say, their dreams, sorry. So I will call the Japanese class now on the stage. I think that all of the 10 of the students are talking, so it will be very active presentation. And And of course, hi also to the Italian class from Bologna. And then, of course, they also have the opportunity to make questions and have a debate as well. So, okay. Yeah. Do you want to come here? Okay, so I would say that the floor is yours. Whenever you are ready and whenever the slides are available, we can start. Okay? Yes. So there, this is the slides I think are coming. I think it's from here, no, that they have to share the slides, while from Italy they will share. Okay. Technical times. Okay, here we are.
Hello, everyone. We're students of, thank you, Assumption Kokusai from Mino. We are Reina, Haruna, Sua, Chiharu, Shintaro, Tadashi, Ryo, Shuntaro, Yuan, and Ruisei. We're going to present how to make sustainability with food, especially the canteens. In Japan, we have special school lunches that called kyushoku. These meals are served in public elementary and junior high school. Every day, students take turns serving the food to their classmates. The menu changes daily, and it usually includes things like rice, bread, noodles, or salad. It's a well-balanced meal. Kyushoku is very important because it not only provides nutrition, especially for students who may skip their breakfast or don't always get enough at home, but also teaches children about healthy eating. And one more thing, the ingredients used in kyushoku are carefully selected. Many of them are produced locally in Japan so that children can become more familiar with the food or their own country and region. This also helps make the meals safe and reliable. This is the tray that I used when I was in elementary, and this is the new one. And at the graduation ceremony, we all get the classmates' messages, a lot of messages. And yeah, this is a good memory, part of memory for us.
Next, I'd like to introduce Japanese bento. Bento is a meal packed in a box with rice and side dishes. People usually take it to school, work, or on trips. There are three main features. First, it is nutritionally balanced with rice, vegetable, fish, and meat. Second, everything is compactly packed into one box, so it's very convenient. Lastly, bento is tasty even when it gets cold. Today, I actually brought my own bento to show you. This container is called magiwappa. The which absorbs extra moisture, so the rice stays fluffy and delicious.
We conducted a survey on students in our school to find out whether they think kyushoku or bento are more eco-friendly. Look at the graph. The graph showed that 36.8% prefer school lunches and 63.2% preferred bento, with more people think that bento are more eco-friendly.
So we researched about why people choose bento but not school lunch, and most people said the meal can be cooked at home and there is less food wastage. And also the box you use is reusable, so there is less garbage. And some of them say it saves cost and you can use your home produced food. And also some often say because of the meal you eat is made made in home, so the food suited them and they only put what they want to eat in the lunchbox.
Next, I'd like to share some ideas for the environment. As you can see in the picture, we can use reusable containers such as Tupperware. This helps us save leftovers and prepare meals in advance. We can also plan our weekly ingredients. By doing this, we reduce wasteful spending. Another idea is to pack just the right amount of food. Families can work together. For example, parents can adjust portion sizes for their children. Finally, one simple step is to bring our own chopsticks instead of using disposable ones. Even small changes can make a big difference.
Now, let's look at the survey results from those who thought school lunches are more eco-friendly. The most common answer are using local vegetable and the most common answer is food can be prepared in bulk at once. The second most answer are using local vegetable and not needing packaging. Other responses included: there is no pressure for parents, it reduces the gap of food between households, and there is less waste compared to homemade lunchbox. It wasn't included in the survey result. I personally believe that school lunches give a good opportunity for communal eating. Eating together with classmates fosters communication, increasing students' sense of fulfillment and happiness. It's a great traditional Japanese food culture. But it's regrettable that opportunities for communal eating decreased because of the pandemic to prevent infection.
So reducing transportation distances helps cut CO2 emissions and revitalizes local economies. It is also a great opportunity to develop an interest in a local food culture. Vegetables that taste the same but cannot be sold in supermarkets due to their appearance, such as too small or too large, or mishappen, can be purchased cheaply from farmers and saving money and reducing waste. Leftovers and food waste from school lunches can be reused as fertilizer instead of being thrown away. This not only reduces waste, but also provides resources to grow new vegetables and plants. It also offers students a valuable opportunity to learn about sustainable cycles in school. Before eating, each person decides how much they can eat and return the rest. In this way, others can have second and food waste is prevented. This habit helps you understand your stomach's capacity, and even when dining at restaurants, You will learn to order only as much as you can eat.
And next, I will introduce some activities that students answered to the survey. These are actually carried out in schools or communities. First, let me talk about a seminar. We held a face-to-face seminar for students to promote local food. This was very effective because it gave them a chance to actually learn about local ingredients and get more interested in sustainability. Next, we cooked a dish using vegetable peels. For example, we made ninjin shiri-shiri. It's a simple stir-fried dish of julienne carrots with scrambled eggs. Originally, it's from Okinawa. It's southern part of Japan, but now it's popular all over the country, and many people enjoy it home or for the bentos. We also made posters. This is a very common activity, but it works well to raise awareness among students. And now I'd like to go into more detail about sustainable food and consuming local products, which will be explained by the team members responsible for this section.
Sustainable food means food that benefits both people and the planet. It reduces the use of artificial pesticides and helps prevent deforestation and overfishing. It also promotes fair trade, ensuring better conditions for farmers. Examples of sustainable food include meat alternatives, edible crickets, and wild game such as venison. These choices help conserve the environment and contribute to a healthier future. When I was in the third year of junior high school, I worked with a cafe near my school to sell fair trade products. Through this, I learned that fair trade can help farmers reduce their burden.
One way to make our food systems more sustainable is through the idea of local production for local consumption. By producing food locally, communities can be more engaged in the process and gain a deeper understanding of the steps and the people involved in bringing food from the farm to the table. This awareness can foster a greater appreciation for what we eat and in turn help reduce food waste. In addition, relying on local production helps cut down on transportation, which means lower emissions and a smaller environmental footprint overall.
Here we see an example of Mino City, which has been working on local production for local consumption. By sourcing food locally, transport needs are reduced, which also helps cut carbon emissions. The nature-rich city launched a project called the Farmer Registration System to serve locally sourced school lunches. This system buys produce that would otherwise go unsold and plans school menus around them. Thanks to this initiative, Mino City has received a 17 to 30% local sourcing rate, which is much higher compared to neighboring cities such shown in the chart. This shows how a well-organized local system can significantly boost sustainability while supporting both farmers and children's nutrition.
Okay, last, I'd like to explain about the canteen of our school. Those pictures are like our school's cafeteria. And our school lunch staff always prepare 150 to 160 meals for Assumption Elementary School students. Also, 80 to 100 bread items in Assumption Middle and High School are served. It is no relation of this topic, but I want you to tell my recommendation of the good item. In this item, I love salt focaccia. I guess it's Italian food, focaccia, yeah. And yeah, this is so popular bread in this cafeteria. But on the other hand, any leftover will be discarded, such as ramen, bento, and so on. This might seem small, but when we add it up day by day, week by week, it becomes a serious issue. Not only it is a waste of food, but it's also a waste of the resource used to make that food, like water, energy, time, and money. But in my school, some teachers buy bread of leftover at a discount price. Thus, we need to work on those problems. So let's keep this in mind as we continue talking about food issue. That's all our presentation. Thank you for listening. Grante.
Okay, thank you very much for the Japanese class. So since the presentation was a bit too long for, let's say it was perfect, but we took quite a bit more time than expected. So maybe I would ask the Italian class to make just 1 or 2 questions if they have some, if they notice something in the presentation they would like to ask. And if it's okay, then of course, if you have more, we will take time for answering, for replying. So Arianna, we see you there. So she's Arianna Dell'Olio. I present her just a few minutes before. Okay, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. I will now leave the floor to the guys from Majorana, who will after present their project. But first, a few questions for the Japanese class. So
my question is, do you think that food waste is a problem in your country as well?
Yes, food waste is a large concern in this country. The government makes efforts in order to reduce the loss of wasted food, like food banks, where kids from not very wealthy families can come and eat for a very cheap price using food that was wasted, and we have such things to reduce our food loss, if that answers your question.
Okay, thank you. Our second question is, do you think it can be useful to teach students about sustainability in your school as well?
I'm sorry, can you say that one again?
Yeah, sure. Do you think it can be useful to teach in schools about sustainability as well in Japan?
Someone wants to answer to the question?
Yes, I will answer that. And we do have some home economics classes, or we have class that we actually plant rice, and that is one of educational way for the students.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
okay, thank you so much. Now, if you can move you Italian students onto the next to the screen, and we are now moving to the presentation from Majorana School. So now I want to introduce Allegra Filippi, Fabio Nepoti, Denisa Mitrano, and Alessandro Mammana. And they will now show the project that they have implemented in the last month with our guidance, let's say. So take it away, guys.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Allegra. This is Fabio. This is Dennis, and this is Alessandro. Today, we are excited to share with you our project on designing a sustainable school cafeteria. Our class explored the ways that we can make a school cafeteria more sustainable, more economically friendly, and even more healthy and effective. We came up with a few practical solutions that we believe can be applied to schools everywhere because we believe that this can be a step toward a greener future, so we're here to show you exactly how.
We cannot hear from here. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay, so we saw the video, we didn't hear the music, but that was okay, I think. So we can keep going on with the presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. More specifically, the canteen we imagined would be serving both students and teachers contemporarily so that we can provide a more relaxed and enjoyable dining experience. The food would be freshly prepared in an internal kitchen within the canteen itself so that we can both ensure quality but also reduce and minimize the transport-related waste. What's unique about our approach is that we would have personal and personalized menus so that we can meet the individual dietary needs of each student. So we can promote inclusivity, health, and sustainability all at once. In our project, we focused on three main aspects: the menus, the food waste, and the education. We asked ourselves how we can reduce food waste and also what we can make useful from it. We came up with a few ideas. For instance, serving the right portion sizes, and also, like I said before, having various menu options so that we can have more of a chance of making students enjoy their meals and also finish them. And lastly, even table service so that we can avoid too much food being taken and then unfortunately left uneaten. What we believe is central in this kind of approach is also the education, because it can teach children about the effects and consequences of food waste and also teach them how they can be a part of the solution from a very young age. Finally, we came up with a few smart ideas for how to use the food waste that unfortunately is still left over anyway. We came up with a school vegetable garden where we would reuse vegetable scraps and even cooking water to grow new plants. We would also use coffee grounds and coffee beans as a natural fertilizer, and also always provide recycling and composting systems so we can avoid the food waste going to landfills, and also always have a natural fertilizer within the school itself rather than chemical ones. Here we show more in detail the composting systems and how it may work. So lastly, I want to add that this approach, like I said before, can minimize what we throw away and also turn it into something useful, while also teaching children about the cycle of food and the sustainability and environment.
So what about our menu? To get a closer look on all the financial benefits of our project, we created a 5-day menu during the autumnal season. To make the menu more financially sustainable and environmentally sustainable, we reduced the use of red meat, which has a very high impact, environmentally speaking. We use seasonal vegetables and also local products. These are three easy ways you can use to make a meal sustainable and also cheap and healthy. As Allegra said before, we have created 3 different types of menus for dietary issues or maybe different religions. Let's now take a closer look at one of the menus to get an actual look of how we calculated everything. In Italy, we usually eat a 2-course meal with a side dish and a fruit. The first course is a carb-based one, so usually some rice or pasta. The second course is where we get all of our protein, so usually it is a type of meat or fish. The side dish is just a type of vegetable, while the fruit is just a local fruit and a seasonal fruit. Here we can see how we calculated the weights of all the ingredients. We did that so that we could see precisely the cost of every meal and also the calorie intake. We calculated an average of 705 kilocalories per meal, which is more than enough for a kid to go on with their day. And we also calculated the prices of every ingredient. We did that by going to a store near our school. We checked the prices for every ingredient, and we calculated an average of a 15% discount of every ingredient. But by collaborating with different companies or corporations, we could get even bigger discounts. The average cost of a meal in the general menu is €1.75, which is about 300 yen. The vegetarian menu is only 35 cents, which is very, very cheap. It's about 60 yen. The gluten-free menu is only 76 cents, which is about 130 yen. These options are much, much cheaper than the average cost of the meal in Italy, which is about €4.30, which is 750 yen.
Let's finally dive into the education side of our sustainable canteen. First of all, we like every kid in our school to bring from home a water bottle. This way we can avoid the usage of plastic and then decrease the waste that will be later thrown out. Then we have the garbage trolley, which is a cart where the kids would put all the trash they would leave. And that way they push it around to some sort of recycling stations where they would differentiate the various litter and learn how to recycle. In fact, it is important to teach them how to recycle. Thanks to that, thanks to also posters and games, we can involve them and make them understand it and learn it more quicker. And an example of a game is this board game. As you can see, this is a boarding game in which you have to roll the die. And once you get a number, there will appear a question. You have to answer the question with true or false. And if you get the answer correctly, as it appeared before, you would go as much as the die indicated. While if you guess the answer incorrectly, you would only move one tile. That is a way to more encourage the kid to continue playing, and that way they can learn more. There is the smart playing, as we said before, that is important for the portions. And finally, the educational garden, which, as they said before, is not only a way to reuse the food waste, but also to teach the kids how the food grows, it is cultivated, and they can understand how important it is to have care for it. And if they grow themselves a tomato, for example, they will see it differently after all the care, patience, and time they've spent on it. And they will act differently and give to it more importance. This is the end. Thank you very much for listening to us. And there will be an image, I know.
I think, okay, you need to show the picture.
This is a picture of us. We at Bologna. No, Florence, sorry guys, Florence, which is another city nearby here in another region. And that's it. I will pass it to...
Okay. Thank you so much for the presentation. And now I will ask my colleagues in Osaka to tell us if there are any questions about the presentation that just took place.
Thank you, Arianna. Thank you, guys, for your presentation. It was very nice. So yes, now I would ask to the guys from Osaka if they have any question. If you want to come all here on the stage again, is okay, or just ask question as you wish. Okay, just two. Perfect. Yes, we do have questions.
Okay.
Okay, as you wish. You have one or two? You have one? You don't have to.
Okay,
For
so
now, we have
whenever-
one.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Okay,
So let
we will
us know.
see. But for now, we have one.
Food education has a cultural education role. So how is that reflected in the school canteen? Like how Italian cuisine is represented?
Okay, so if you guys want to answer.
Okay, so I'm not sure if I understood the question right, but in Italy right now there isn't any programs that are helping with this food waste. This is why we chose this kind of project so that we can show exactly why it is a problem in Italy. That's why we also asked if it was a problem in your country as well. And we believe that this project could be a step toward having some kind of benefits in the future.
Thank you, Allegra. I don't know if it answered your question back in Japan.
Is it
I hope
okay?
it did.
Does she answer?
And if you have
Okay,
any
yes.
other curiosity, let us know.
Yes, yes, we have another one.
Okay. Okay.
Just one more question quickly, and I'm just curious, how many students take food canteen, and are there any other options instead of the food canteen in Italy?
So usually in Italy, every kid in the school eats in the canteen. There may be a few cases where you can bring your own lunch from home, but it's not the average in Italy. Basically, every school has a canteen.
Mostly in elementary schools, basically everyone is kind of forced to stay till later on in the afternoon and eat in the canteen. So basically everyone in the school goes to the canteen in elementary school. Then onto middle school and high school, we don't really have canteens anymore, but it could be in some schools around Italy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, so now we give back the line to Osaka.
Thank you. Thank you, guys,
with our
and
day.
thank you, Arianna, for the good work.
Okay, we are getting close to the end, and thanks again to all. But before ending, so we had the opportunity to hear how the things, how mobility issues are treated and are impressed here in Osaka within student population, the same in Bologna. And then we move to food sustainability, canteen system, how students eat, the kind of diets, and so on. So maybe I ask to the public, not necessarily to the students, if they have any curiosity to one of the group, or maybe even to more, if they have any comments, if they are surprised by the results of these surveys, or maybe they just confirm what the overall feeling is about those kind of issues. So if there is any comments that someone want to share with us, both in Italy or here in Osaka, so we have just a couple of minutes to share ideas and comments, recommendations, suggestions, or even if anyone want to deepen issues that were not discussed enough. Okay, there is a question here. Maybe you can come here. Maybe also introduce yourself.
So, hi, I'm a PhD student from the University of Bologna, and I just spent a year in Canada, and what shocked me, like it was a cultural shock for me to notice how much they waste their food, how much food they waste there. So even though we try to not waste it as much, in my experience in Italy, we already do a very good job. So maybe, I know that everyone should do their work, but it really feels like the problem is not maybe us as much, but there are some players that should do a lot more, in my opinion. Thank you.
Okay, that's interesting. So now we are comparing Italy and Japan, and it seems there are at least try to work and to find solutions, but of course the world is much more complicated and there are much more countries, and even countries that are in our imagination look like sensitive to the issues like environment, like Canada, according to this experience, seems they are falling behind the experiences we had today. Any other comments? Questions? Maybe could I ask to the professor that were engaged in this, maybe we didn't prepare it, but maybe ask the professor if they have any comments about this experience, if they recommend to replicate to other classes, any comments that you feel to share. Yeah, come here. Yeah, we have Mrs. Lee from the, yes, come, high school here in Osaka.
Thank you very much. It's a very good opportunity for our school, especially to the younger generation. It was a little bit confusing in the beginning because we thought it's like a real debate, but it's research-based, and I think that my students really learned from it, and I am sure that they have a big takeaway of knowledge from this activity, and we hope that there will be future activity such as this that maybe not with them if they're graduate, but for the future generations in our school. So thank you very much.
Welcome. I just ask if there are comments, similar comments from Bologna, or if not.
Yes, sorry.
Okay.
No, just we wanted to say that I speak
Arianna,
for the
stop.
researchers. Vabbè, okay. So for us, it was also a great pleasure to have this project and to interact with the classes. So thank you to everyone. Just this.
Okay. Just to, because we didn't say maybe clearly, but in Italy we had two classes that were, one class were at the last year of the high school, so 18, 19 years old, and one class was a fourth, so the second half, the year of the high school, so around 17, 18 years old. While in Japan, more or less, the classes were similar, maybe a little bit younger. So we compare classes that are more or less the same level in their school system. In Japan, they study 1 year less before going to the university. And, but of course, we thought that the experience were comparable. So we get very close to the end. And before ending now, we are going to do a procedure that will be done simultaneously here in Osaka and in Bologna. So I would ask again the professors of the University of Osaka to come here on, sorry, not University of Osaka, the high school in Osaka to come to the stage because we have a little prize for them, and the same will be done in Bologna. So I ask to my colleagues if they can bring the prize and ask to the professor to come to the stage. And so we'll do it simultaneously. And then there are certificates for students that participate to this initiative. And we are going to to give it to the participants at the same time in Osaka and in Bologna. So the price, actually, the price è nel zaino, scusa, è lì dentro. No, sì, quello è il price dentro. Okay, so if you're doing the same in Bologna, just confirm me.
Yeah, we asked to a school professor to come here, that we give the prize.
And we do the same here.
Thank you very much. This is for our students who did a very great job. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, and we ask Mrs. Leif if you want to come.
Okay, and now welcome Professor Silvia Arnone. And here is the prize.
Okay, and do
Thank
the
you.
same here in Osaka.
Okay. The prize were delivered.
Okay, and now we are going to give the certificates to all the participants, but not necessarily we have to keep the video conference. We can do in the two different sites separately. And I just take the opportunity to thank all the colleagues.
Sorry, we can't hear you anymore from Osaka.
You cannot hear?
Don't know what happened.
Hello? Okay, just to conclude, I just want to thank all the colleagues that have been involved in this project. It was a lot of job. Of course, the school, the students, the professors, our researchers, the colleagues of the unit in Bologna in charge for public engagement. It was really a great opportunity. In Bologna, we will continue with Labo 2030. But maybe again there will be a new occasion to do at international level with your class, maybe also with other classes, maybe with Canadian students, that we realize that Canada maybe has some still job to be done on these issues. And again, thanks a lot to everybody. And I think we can stop the video conference now.
Congratulations. Hirano Reina. Congratulations. You're welcome. Nishimoto Ryo. You're welcome. Congratulations. Yasuoka Ryusei. Sorry. Congratulations and thank you for your work. Iwan Silei. Congratulations. Thank you. Yoshimura Shintaro. Shintaro, I think is right. Okay. Congratulations. Suzuki Shuntaro. Teiswa. This was good, right? Congratulations. Thank you. And finally, from the food group, Katsu Tadashi. Thank you. Thank you very much for your work. Congratulations. Okay, so thank you guys for your work again, really. And now Margherita will give the others.
Okay, so we continue with the Sustainable Mobility Group. The first one, Kensuke Ido. Ido. Thank you. Thank you. Mihiro Kimura. Thank you, thank you. Azuki Masuda. Thank you, thank you. Kihana Nagao. Thank you. Tsuyoka Natsuki. Sorry. Thank you so much. Hanano Ogawa. Thank you. Koyama Rai. Thank you, sorry for the pronunciation. Wakabayashi Takuto. Sorry. What's the right pronunciation? Okay. So the last one, Natsuki Tsuyoka. Natsuki? The same one? Okay. No. Okay. One without. Okay. Sorry, we changed the name. Okay. Okay. So, thank you so much. Maybe we can take a photo all together, the two groups. Okay. Come, guys.